Hello everybody and welcome back to Mastering Avantra, and this series covering some of our latest innovations in our release 21.11. Today's session is going to be about our SAP HotNews integration, how you go about setting that up in your Avantra installation, what credentials you need, and how to start getting the best out of this awesome new feature. So let's go ahead and get started. So here I have my Avantra 21.11 system. So if I go into the question mark and I go to About, you'll see I'm running Avantra 21.11.0. So let me show you this system first before we go any further. So here I have a number of servers set up. So I have the Avantra master server itself, and then I have an SAP system called SID NPL. And if I go into SAP systems, you can see I have this system configured and all my checks are running and this system's in pretty good shape. So now we want to configure our SAP HotNews integration. Now, the fantastic news is this is ridiculously easy. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to configure our credentials for accessing this crucial information. So we go to Configuration and we go to Integrations, and you'll see there's this new tab here called SAP Backbone. Now, if you don't see this tab, it may mean one of two things. Number one, perhaps you're not running 21.11 yet, in which case go to the video around upgrading. Very simple, very quick upgrade. Or number two, perhaps it's not been added to your license, so perhaps you don't have access to this feature yet. If you don't see this information, or if you don't see the SAP Backbone or SAP HotNews features as I'm showing them here, just have a chat with your CSM or your account manager and they'll be more than happy to help you out there. So the first thing here is we need to configure the credentials, so the S user, we're going to be using to access this information. Now, one thing to really point out here is that this is the technical communications user, similar to the one you would use with Solution Manager, for example. This is not your standard S user that you use to log on, for example, to download software. So let me go ahead and configure mine here. And I'm going to put in my password as well. Sorry, my password manager keeps popping up. So I'm going to put in my password, which I'm not going to announce as I'm talking to you. And I'm going to enable the download of SAP HotNews. So I'm going to enable that and hit apply. Okay, fantastic. So now we have configured our SAP Backbone integration for accessing our HotNews. Let's go have a look. So now if I go into support, you'll see this new option here called SAP HotNews. So we can come in here, and this is your SAP HotNews home within Avantra. And this is where you can decide to synchronize, you can look at all the different notes, you can show old note versions, or you can even force the download of large quantities of notes if you want to look at some really old systems. So for the fun of it, let's go back a year. Let's go and force the download of a year's worth of SAP notes to this system. It really is quite quick. So we've downloaded our SAP HotNews, we've done 99 notes, 501 validities, and so on and so forth. You can see how many were inserted and all that kind of fun stuff as we go through. So now let's show all these notes, and you can see all of this SAP note and HotNews information just shown like this. And so now this is available for you up to the minute. So you can set your Avantra system in your settings under your Avantra master. There is an option in here for how frequently to download your HotNews. Let's search for HotNews. There we go. So SAP notes.sap HotNews synchronize. So my system will synchronize this at 2 a.m. every day. You can adjust this to whatever you'd like. And so this then allows you to come in here and see all of the information, see the category, for example, so this is a special development for the removal of SAP Fiori client from public app stores. You could also have a program error and so on and so forth. And the fascinating thing here is once it has downloaded this information, you'll then start to see links to the individual SAP systems to which this note is relevant. And this is where it becomes really cool, because suddenly you're looking at all of your notes in one place and all of the systems that are affected. Now, for this demo, it turns out my SAP system is pretty well patched and there's none of these notes are relevant for that system. But you would see these listed here if indeed they were relevant for your system, and you could click through to see more information about that system. You can also right click on these and you can say show relevant systems, and it'll show you more information down here. And you can also set the note status. So this is where you decide, you know what, yeah, this note's not relevant. I'm going to mark it as not relevant. And so that allows it to disappear from your list, so you're not constantly wondering about it and seeing where it goes. And the final thing is you can actually open the SAP HotNews in the support.sap.com website, which I won't do right now, but you get the idea. It brings you straight into that SAP note, so you can review it in more detail should you want to or need to. So there we go. That's a brief look at SAP HotNews functionality in Avantra 21.11. Really hope you enjoy the feature. Feedback is always welcome, and thank you very much for watching.